WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users.
Hey y'all, this is Larry Whitfield. Welcome to Sunday Throwbacks right here on WVTC Detroit. On today's show, it is our hope that you will enjoy great music from past and present, that you will be impacted by a throwback moment. So listen, call a neighbor, call a friend, call somebody. Let them know Sunday Throwbacks is on. Let's go. It's Sunday. Sunday Throwbacks.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I can't hear none of y'all right now. Hold on. My mic is on. Everything's on. I can't hear y'all. Can't hear anything. Hello?
Put your hands together. Tried so hard to make it through the pain. You've been down so long, you're numb to the strain. But this is not the time for you to give up. Hey, let's try again. And let's get back to love. This time you're gonna win. Come on, somebody shout love.
Yes, this is Sunday Throwback, and that was Elder Stephen Anderson and Back to Love. I want to give a shout out to him. That is my friend and brother. Great music. You can go and get his music on all the digital outlets. But listen, my guest is Nika Owens. You are a producer. You are a host. You are a therapist.
Yes.
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 You're the. Can I talk? No, I'm just playing. Louis, you there?
I'm here.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Listen, we are so excited and humbled to have you here on the show. This is this. I really see this as a place of deliverance for someone, a place of healing, and I am so thankful that the Lord used you in
Glory
this
to God.
way to put this documentary together with the three ladies that we're going to be talking to shortly. But listen, I want you to tell our listening audience a little background about how you got into documentary, or maybe take it back a little further on how you became a therapist and all that.
Okay, first I want to say thank you so much for having me. I
Oh,
really do appreciate the
you're
opportunity.
welcome.
I do.
Thank you.
Well, let me just go back just a little bit.
Mhm.
Growing up on the west side of Detroit, I was always considered like the neighborhood therapist, right? I always wanted to see everybody happy and getting along. And I remember when I wanted to pursue psychology, people were kind of discouraged. They discouraged me. Oh, it's not enough money in that. Nika, you'll get so wrapped up in people's
Mhm.
problems. You don't want to do that. And I kind of bought into that. And so I went into business. And then after, working, some time in the business field, I just wasn't happy. I knew that wasn't my passion. And that wasn't what God had called me to do.
Yeah.
So I went back to school to get a counseling degree, a master's in counseling. So I'm a master level counselor, a licensed professional counselor. And so I started private practice. I graduated from grad school in 2004, started private practice in 2006. So in 2017, I met a young woman by the name of Yvette,
Mhm.
Yvette K. And she was telling me stories about her relationships with her mom. And it was shocking, some of the things that she was saying, because even in grad school, we didn't talk much about the mother-daughter relationship on this level.
Yeah.
We often talk about how people have, daddy issues, but we don't talk about mommy issues. We protect moms.
Right.
And not that I want to demonize moms, because that's not what this is about at all. But of all races, whether it was Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, all across the board, I was hearing these stories, but it was something about Yvette K's story that just stood out. And I said, I really have to understand this more. I had such a great relationship with my mom, and I have such a great relationship with my mom. I was ignorant to this fact that some mothers and daughters don't have good relationships. And I wanted to understand the psychology behind that more, because I know it's more to it than just not getting along.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that we understand that, and that we do not demonize Black moms, because that's what this is not about.
Right.
But there's some
Not at
healing
all.
that needs to take place
Mhm.
in these relationships, in some of these relationships.
Now, Yvette was one of your
Clients, yes.
one of your clients.
Mhm.
So when she started talking to you, it caused you to really dig deeper into this. Now, how did the connection with Valencia and Coco, and these are our other two ladies that are going to be on the show shortly, how did they connect with you also?
Well, the same thing.
Mhm.
Clients. Again, we have to sign, releases and
Yeah.
all the legalities
Mhm.
because the confidentiality piece. But they were wanting to understand themselves, so they wanted to go on this healing journey,
Mhm.
and they felt like this was an opportunity to do that, and they were willing to share their stories, because again, they came in, after Yvette did, and stories after story. I'm like, oh Lord, this is something to this. What do you want me to do with this?
Mhm.
And at first, it sounds a little scary, because you're like, these are your clients that you're
Right.
you're putting
right.
out there. But I felt peace about it. It's a little scary at times, because you're thinking you want to make sure you protect them,
Mhm.
because then you have the confidentiality piece. But they signed disclosures and waivers. I had, attorneys involved, and to make sure that I was doing this the right way. Because this is how the stories that I hear in my counseling sessions, they have made me a better person.
Mhm.
I have grown as a result of these ladies. I'm a better mom because of these ladies. And I feel like it's because of they're stories that we all can grow and prosper.
Absolutely.
And so without these stories, when I'm in those four walls in the counseling session and I hear these stories, I'm like, wow, wouldn't it be amazing if people could hear some of these stories and grow, and we don't just judge people based on appearance.
Right.
If we know their stories, we wouldn't be so quick to judge them, but more love, give them more
Right.
love, and just giving some more compassion than judging.
Now, what I really appreciate about this documentary and everybody, I want everybody to know that they're having a documentary performance that's happening on the 3rd.
Yeah, December 3rd. The premiere.
December 3rd is the premiere. And listen, the premiere is sold out. Okay. Both shows
Yes.
are sold out. Okay. Is there a third show, or is there, any taste of a third show?
Yes, there is.
There is.
There is. But
Wow.
so what I want people to do, they need to go to the website. They subscribe to the website, because right now that's what we're in the process of doing, looking for an additional location so that people can see it. Just almost like when you go to see a documentary, there it plays.
Okay.
But the current place, they just don't have the time and the space for me to do it.
Okay.
Not only that, I self-funded this documentary, so a lot of money has been poured out to it, and I'm okay with that. But again, I need people to donate space. So if there's anyone out there that can donate space for us to view it, that would be nice too. And so that's been, the thing, that just making sure we have the right facility to premiere. But we are premiering it December 3rd, and thank God we sold out of both shows, and there's still more people that would like to be able to view it.
So if there is a person out there that say, I have space to do this, how are they able to get in touch with you? Where can they go, or what number can they call?
I can give them my office number.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 313-769-5705, or they can even go to behindthe90withnika.com. That's the website.
Behind the 90 with Nika. Nika being spelled N-N?
E-K-A.
E-K-A.
Yeah, but the best way, if they want to give a call, the 313-769-5705, they can call there.
Okay, absolutely. And we will be repeating that number throughout the show. Now, speaking of 90s, you did a 90s series, and I want you to kind of touch on that a little bit, because I was reading a piece of it on your information, and one part that kind of caught my attention is that when you said in reference to 100%, the 90% is never displayed. The 10% is the part that people want other people to show. In so many words, I'm kind of saying it in my terms.
You're good.
The
That's good.
10% is what you want people to see. But there is a gruesome 90% that people don't really know about, that is just behavioral and just crazy. I want you to kind of talk about this, because you did you did a 90s series write up.
Yeah, so 90% of what we go through in life is about our past. Only 10% is about the here and now, right? So let's say a lot of times when couples come into my office and they say, there's poor communication, there's infidelity, there's all these different things, and they say, this is the problem. I'm like, no, that's not really the problem. Let's explore your 90%. Let's explore your childhood. Let's explore all these different chapters of your life, which is the 90%. So a lot of times we're just basing things on that 10%. It's the here and now.
Yeah.
But the 90% is the past. And so that's where I get the name from, Behind the 90 with Nika, because we're going below the surface. We're looking at the past, not just the present. I think more relationships would thrive, do better if we would look more deeper into our stories and not just judge that 10%. The poor communication is a function of what? Maybe you saw your parents not, engage properly. So that's why you don't communicate well. It's not just that you just don't want to communicate properly. Maybe you weren't taught. Maybe you saw, dysfunction in your family. So there's the 90% is a function. Or let's just say it's on a smaller scale. Let's say I had how they say you have a bad day at work and then you come home and kick the dog. But it's really not about the dog.
Poor puppy,
right? So it's really not about the dog. It's about
Peter's watching.
Right. Lewis have a dog, and the dog probably sitting. Right.
So it's really, was it really about the dog? It was really about the dog may have pooped or whatever, and you kicked the dog. But really, it's more about you just had
what's
a bad,
behind it. Yeah.
You just had a bad day at work. So the 90% can be on a smaller scale too.
Right. Now, is this in some type of paperback, or if a person wanted to like read the 90 series that you did, how would they access that? Or
Well, basically,
have you put it in paperback yet?
Well,
or
no, I
anything?
just put it on YouTube. It was just something that I
Okay.
put on YouTube to explain it more.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it is on YouTube?
Yeah, it's something on YouTube.
Okay, so
Mhm.
how would a person look that up if they wanted to?
It's Behind the 90 with Nika. If you go to, because my YouTube page is Behind the 90 with Nika.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when they
Mhm.
go to your page, that's on there.
Yeah, because even if they go to the website, I think you guys are posting the website,
Mhm.
they'll see all the information. They can go to the YouTube page
Oh,
too.
that is powerful.
Yep.
Everybody, this is Sunday Throwback. We are talking to Nika Owens. She is the host and producer of this new documentary entitled Beauty from Ashes, the journey of three daughters. And we're going to be having the three daughters up very soon. I'm talking about none other than Valencia, Yvette, and Coco. They have a powerful story that they want to share concerning the mother-daughter relationship. So I want you all to stay tuned. But before we get to it, let's get to some music. I sense a breakthrough in the house. This is from Minister Faris G and Jeremiah featuring Louis Lillian. They call her the queen. They call her the queen, Lillian Floyd. And when we come back, we're going to ask you a couple more questions, and then we're going to bring the three daughters in and talk to them.
Sounds good.
It is such an honor to have you with us.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, everybody, this is Sunday Throwback. Louis, I'm going to let you get to the next question, man.
And my group Jeremiah, we just want to let you know God has a breakthrough with your name on it.
God has a breakthrough with your name on it. God has a breakthrough with your name on it. God has a breakthrough with your name on it. You better praise Him. Oh, God has a breakthrough with your name on it. The Lord has a breakthrough with your name on it. God has a breakthrough with
Yes, that was Breakthrough. Minister Faris and Jeremiah. Lewis, I'm ready to bring these ladies in, man, but I'm going to give you this next question for our guest, Nika Owens. What is your question that you have for her before I
Yes.
bring them in here?
Yes. I just wanted to know, when did you know that you had to tell this story, that the world needed to hear this story?
That's a great question. It was in 2017 when I met Yvette K. And it was, her story was so compelling, and I paused for a minute because whenever you're doing something for God, it can be a little scary. So, and I wanted to make sure I was doing things in decency and in order. So in 2017, I met her, and then in 2018, I made the decision. I asked, "Would you like to share your story?" Because again, I had grown so much.
Yeah.
As a result of that.
Yeah. It looked like you about to just. Do we have any issue? It looked like you about to go there. It's okay. It's okay, because again, this is about healing, and this is about deliverance, and this is about helping somebody. So again, we're honored here at WVTC Detroit to get this information out. Listen, we want to show everybody the documentary. This is a trailer. This is a piece of what you're going to see coming up December 3rd. Well, if you got tickets already, because again, both shows, let me say this, both shows are sold out, and they are working on a third show. So please stay tuned. But I want to show the documentary, if we can, the trailer of the documentary. And then while you're watching the documentary, we're going to bring in the three young ladies that this story is really all about. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. You made me cry. Oh.
And we will sing the song.
Only thing Patricia taught me as a mother was that she was not my mother and that she owed me nothing.
This is what you have done to me. You have made me feel incomplete.
She just made it clear that she hated me because she just treated me so horrible.
How do we break this cycle? And awareness is so key in identifying how mothers can be disconnected from their daughters.
When that relationship fails, it can cause unimaginable damage.
I hate this house. It's the first house I ever lived in.
And nobody did it. The police didn't protect us. The state didn't protect us. Nobody.
It was like she couldn't stand me. It was like a disdain.
This is something that has to change. Right here, right now. We need to push this conversation forward about mother-daughter relationships.
But I feel like I'm called to heal by telling her story as well as mine.
Do it for yourself. I want her to do it for herself and then think about her kids, because we all she got.
No matter how bad it is, keep looking, keep watching, and figure out a way to help somebody.
We need to build community, exposing this uncomfortable truth and walking with intention as we love and not pass down generational pain to our daughters. Mothers, we can make the difference.
Yes. This is Sunday Throwback, everybody. I'm your host, Larry Whitfield, my co-host, Lewis Boyd III. We are here with Nika Owens, and these are the journey of three daughters, the cast of the documentary that those of you that have bought tickets already, that you will be seeing on December 3rd. This is Yvette, this is Coco, this is Valencia. Your teacher from Oak Park School District is watching.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, she is watching. But listen, I want to bring attention to this information here. I think this is critical for somebody. And like I told you all out in the lobby, I am just so honored and humbled to have you here. And you all are three of the bravest women that I have ever met in reference to sharing your story. I want to ask, starting with Yvette, I want to ask you, how challenging was it for you to share your story in the very beginning stages?
Oh, very challenging. Nika, she tried so many different things to get me to talk. Wonderful. She was very good with me and understanding. But when I tell you, I never wanted anybody to know the abuse I suffered. I felt like that was my journey to carry on my back by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when Nika picked up that torch and walked with me, I was afraid. I used to call her crying in the middle of the night, and she answered every time. And she was like, "We're here together. We got this. Let's talk. What's going on?" It was very challenging, and it was something I never wanted to do, but now I'm proud of myself and I'm happy I did it.
Absolutely. And I'm sure so many of the viewing audience is proud as well. Let me ask this. How many years from the situation did you decide, okay, I need to get this out?
The day that I told Nika, never ever had I ever in a million years thought that I would talk about my abuse. I've had many therapists, and none of them can tell you that I was abused by my mother. None of them. None of them can tell you any of my backstory. The only thing they can tell you about is a woman who took me in and abused me.
Wow. Coco? Same question. I want to pose that same question to you. How challenging was it for you to just come out and say, you know what, I need to share this?
It's hard being transparent. It's hard to admit certain things because people wonder why you are the way that you are, but most of the time there's an underlying reason of why you act the way that you act. You do some of the things that you do, you say some of the things, you react, respond. All that comes from a place. And it wasn't until I met Nika that I realized where it was coming from. I couldn't understand why, some of the relationships that I had, why they failed, or why some of the relationships were so toxic. I thought I had daddy issues, and it wasn't that at all. And it wasn't until I stepped into her office for a totally different reason. And she said, "Tell me about your childhood."
Mm.
And when she said, "Tell me about your childhood," I'm like, wait a minute, that's not why I'm here. I'm going to tell you about this. She said, "No, tell me about your childhood." It was like peeling an onion away. It was just like layers and layers and layers. It was life-changing.
So when she said, "Tell me about your childhood," was there an overwhelming feeling that challenged you to keep it tucked in? This is not what I want to talk about. This is not what I'm here for. Or you seen it as an opportunity to just release this thing because you had been holding it for so long?
Not initially. So initially it's like a defense mechanism to tuck that stuff away because it's so painful.
Mhm.
So a lot of times I think that we hide those things, or we kind of just completely block those things out of our mind so that we don't have to deal with them or face them. But you get tired as time, you get older, and you want to have meaningful relationships, and you want to be, there for other people, but you can't do that if you can't be there for yourself.
Yeah.
So it was then that's when I decided.
Okay. Valencia, same question. How challenging was this for you?
Not at all. I have
It-
no problem being transparent.
No, I'm saying to talk about the situation with it
It
was
doesn't
just
bother me.
it didn't bother you at all.
Mm-mm.
When she said, "Tell me about your childhood," you just boom.
No, no. How me and Nika met, it was just a little different.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've always been pretty open about the things that I've gone through. Part of that is I do that because there are other people who are struggling like me,
Mhm.
but they don't have the bravery to speak out. And so it's like I'm a voice. I became like this advocate for people who feel shame,
Mhm.
who feel judged. So all on my social media platforms, people who follow me, even people that are watching, they know
Mhm.
that I am a pretty transparent person, and it's on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now with you all being counseled and talked to by Nika and everything, are you all in a state of counseling with other individuals that maybe have heard your story and now they're talking to you and you're giving them encouragement and enlightenment in their situation? Are any of you all doing that at all?
Yes, I am.
You are.
Whenever I share my testimony, mostly Facebook,
Mhm.
people message me because I read your post, I didn't commit suicide today.
Wow.
Or my son killed himself, and I want to talk to you about mental health. Or I'm struggling mentally, but I don't know the avenues on how to seek a therapist. Could you help me with that? This is why I do what I do, and I don't care who doesn't like it. And what's for people, I gravitate to the people who need to hear my story, and everybody else can just keep scrolling. But there have been plenty of times where I've had to counsel people, whether it be on Zoom, Messenger, phone call. Even if I'm going through stuff myself, there's a bigger issue, and if I can save somebody's life, that's what I'm willing to do.
Yeah. Everybody, this is Sunday Throwback. I got a big lump in my throat, and it's not
Yeah,
because
me
I'm
too.
thirsty. I have a big lump in my throat.
Yeah, me too.
This is powerful. Lewis, you have a question for any of our guests, sir?
Well, I just want to say I commend you for being brave enough to tell your story, and the world does need to hear these stories about the mother-daughter relationships and about the abuse that's going on that you all have encountered. As I was trying to say, that's all. I just want to commend you all, and that not only are you guys being healed, which I'm sure you are, I pray that other people are healed through this.
Absolutely.
Yep. So
Yeah. I'm going to make a statement, and I want you all to kind of expound on it. And I saw this. I don't know where I seen it from, but I wrote it down. It says here, and I'm start with you, Yvette, and you can expound on this a little bit. It says, "We can't change what we don't acknowledge. Awareness is the key." How would you expound on that a little bit?
Try not to cry. So yeah, we cannot change anything that we don't acknowledge, which is something that I learned on my journey, my healing journey, because when we sit in what we're in, the mess that we're in, and we don't acknowledge that it is mess. So how can we get out of it? It's like falling in the same hole every day for a week straight, and someone rescues you, but you go right back to that same hole the next day as if you don't know the hole is there. So what I do is I talk about it on TikTok. I tell people my story through videos, 30-second video. You only get 30-second glimpse into what I've been through, things I've been through. I talk on Clubhouse, and I'm very good with children. I love children because they are the ones who are being abused and have no voice. So I do my best to help children. So I think that if we can acknowledge there's abuse, we can help it. But as long as we don't acknowledge it, there's no way to help something that you don't know. That's like being hungry, but don't tell nobody you're hungry.
Wow. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot. And I believe that it somewhat has something to do with pride.
It's always
You know what I'm saying? Being hungry, and you see all this food, you be like, "You're hungry." "Oh, no, I'm good." Coco, We can't change what we don't acknowledge. Awareness is the key. How?
I always make like the analogy, I compare it to like your health. Um, you can identify you may have hypertension and you never get it treated. And the longer you had a hypertension, it's going to affect a lot of different things. It's the same thing with a situation like this. If you don't acknowledge it, and you can't get treatment if you don't identify what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
Once you identify what the problem is, then you can start getting proper treatment. And then when you start getting proper treatment, that's when the healing takes place.
Wow, that's powerful. Valencia, same question. We can't change what we don't acknowledge. How would you apply that from your situation?
Well, they pretty much
Yeah.
gave some great answers. I will say though, I pride myself on being self-aware because in my own personal life, self-awareness has helped me mature in relationships, in just different stages of my life. When I was not aware of myself and my behaviors or the certain things that I would, or certain behavioral patterns or whatever, that kept me in a bound space. And I wasn't able to flourish. I wasn't able to communicate effectively or be in healthy relationships. But the more I've grown and used the tools from therapy, it has helped me become more self-aware because obviously when you're not aware, you're in the dark and you'll repeat cycles and patterns that you don't realize you're doing until maybe somebody brings it up to you, and you can't be in denial because a lot of people will be in denial about their struggles or what it is that they're going through or certain behaviors. But we have to know, we have to be aware of ourselves. And that comes from most of the time seeking professional help. And that's my answer.
Okay. I got one question. There is a question posed on YouTube, and either one of you can take this one, and then after we get there, we're going to get to some music, and then I want you all to encourage somebody, because this is the time to do it. I believe there's someone that is watching right now that need to hear from you all, and they've been going through it all this time up until this moment. This is a God moment for them. So
Absolutely.
I want you all to share. But there is a question that was posed here, and I want to be sensitive the way I word it. When you all gave your story to Nika, were you concerned about exposing, as far as the information that you were putting out? Were you concerned of the outcome, pretty much, if I can say it that way, or how things were going to play out concerning what you were going through? Or you was more concerned was, I need to get this off of me and move forward? Was there any concern about, okay, how is this going to play out? Am I going to get a call from such and such, and then, I'm sitting under the light and all that kind of stuff? Were you all concerned about that at all?
I wasn't, because I think I'm the only one of the ladies whose mom is still alive. I was more concerned about my mom than I was myself. I wanted her to be okay with me telling this story. I wanted her to be okay. So I was more concerned about her than I was myself.
Okay. Yvette?
I was more concerned with people who don't even exist in my world, that I cut them off back in 2003. But I was concerned with the fact of, why are you telling our business? Because that was the way they were raised. And even though we weren't raised as siblings, we were raised in the same home. And it was just like, dang, why are you telling our business? But I stuck to my portion of what took place in the home. I didn't tell their portion because it's not my story to tell. My story is my story. Their story is their story. And although I saw what was being done to all of us, my abuse was 10 times worse because my dad was there. So it was just like, girl, tell your story now. It did take a minute, not gonna lie, but once me and Nika got into it, I couldn't shut up. It was like, okay, I need to tell this out. this feels much better. I'm sleeping better at night. I'm not on medicine to sleep at night. So I had to get that out. So my best advice is get it out, because if you hold it in, guess what? You're the only one who knows.
Yeah.
Nobody else knows.
And it will eat away at you. It will eat away
at you.
Yeah, absolutely. Valencia?
I'm kind of like Yvette. There are some family members that I am currently not speaking to, that I was a little concerned about. But at the same time, I'm like, this is my truth. And this is what happened to me. And I know they're going to deny it, but this is what happened to me. So and I'm a really straight no chaser type of person. And you can ask Nika that, because it was some stuff I said. I was like, oh, I said that. But to protect, because at the time I didn't care, but to protect other people, because I had to learn, like, people still have feelings. And they're just because they're not in that place of healing, I don't have to necessarily try to ruin them, for lack of a better term, if that makes any sense. So I was worried about certain people and how I worded things a certain way. So I had to learn through this process to be careful, speak my truth, but also be respectful of where other people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lewis?
Two scriptures, one that says cry loud and spare not, and that's one way of doing that. And there's also a scripture that says being a serpent as a dove. It's great that you're being careful and not, bad mouthing or trashing anyone else, but at the same time, when you cry out and you spare not, it's for you, and it helps you, and your truth, everyone knows it. So it's great that there's no concern whatsoever about anyone, and at the same time, it's great that there was some concern. So I applaud you all again.
Absolutely. Everybody, this is Sunday Throwback. Let's get to some music so I can get this knot out my throat, Sandy.
Thank you.
Man, the journey of 3 daughters, that is coming up December 3rd. The shows are sold out. That's why I'm not giving you all the location. These shows are sold out, so you can't be bombarding the place. There are no tickets at the door. The 4 o'clock show is sold out, and the 7 o'clock show is sold out. But we're waiting to see if there's going to be a third show. So please go to Nika's information. I believe it's scrolling on the screen. If not, I will make sure that you all have that information. But we'll be right back after we get some music here. This is Pastor Tolan Morgan and One More Day. And when we be back. Listen, y'all, I'm just talking.
When we get
when
back.
we come back, we'll have to kind of talk. Let me go back to everybody.
Chapter 3, verse 23. Every morn, a new mercy. Thank you, Jesus. One more chance, one more praise. With every morn, a new mercy. A new mercy. One more chance, one more praise. With every morning, a new mercy. One more chance, one more praise. Well, I've got joy in my spirit, a song on my heart. Wait a minute. I want you to make it your business this week. When somebody asks you how you doing or how you feeling, I want you to tell them these words. Well, I've got joy in my spirit, a song on my heart, that's it, a praise on my lips. That's only the start. I've got joy in my spirit, a song on my heart. You got it. A praise on my lips. That's only the start. Well, I've got joy in my spirit, a song on my heart.
Hey, are you in need of a jingle, a commercial, or have you considered a podcast for your business or ministry? If so, let WVTC Radio Detroit be your choice. And guess what? Location is not a problem. We can pick you up and broadcast you from anywhere. For more information, please go to our website at WVTCDetroit.com or drop us an email at WVTCRadioDetroit@gmail.com. We're waiting to hear from you.
Hey, we're back. This is Sunday. I want you all to give some final thoughts. Oh, there we go. Still there. Are we back? All right, we're back. I want you ladies to give some final thoughts, some final encouraging thoughts. There was a question that was posed, and I want to throw it to you all. Either all three of you all can answer. In reference to your challenge, was there any help or any encouragement that came from the church or any association to that? Did you all get any help or anything like that? Or maybe you sought out help, or maybe didn't seek out help, or did any help come from the church at all? Or this was something that you pretty much dealt with on your own?
Meaning, did any help come from the church during this process of
Right.
adopting?
During the process of
abuse?
what was going on?
Oh, no,
Okay.
no.
Did you seek out any
Yes. I was young, so
Mhm,
but no help came from anyone.
mhm,
Instructors and stuff as teachers at school,
mhm.
they helped, but not a whole lot of help from anybody else
Okay.
at that time.
Okay.
I had the misfortune of my mother did everybody's taxes, so I didn't get help because every time I would tell, she would just tell them I was lying. And
Mhm,
our house was always the perfect picture, which is why I say don't let a picture fool you, because it's what people want you to see.
mhm.
It's not actuality. So we had the perfect picture of a family when clients would come over, or when she would go to do someone's taxes, she'll pick a kid to take to make it look good. And there was no help. My help came when I got to high school more so than anything, because I just kind of got to the point where it was like, I can't be quiet anymore. It's too painful.
Mhm,
It's too much. It's entirely too much for a child to carry.
mhm,
And I did try telling some people at the church, but I went to an all white church basically. There was a few black people there, not many. And of
mhm,
course, they act like soup tastes good without seasoning. So they couldn't help me.
mhm.
And I'm not being mean, I'm being honest. They couldn't do
Absolutely.
anything for me.
And that's what this is about. This is about transparency, because in all areas we need to know where we can improve, in all areas. So this question was posed, and so we want to make sure that you all are comfortable enough to answer and be honest, because it's really about honesty. Truth is what make you free.
Yeah.
It's the truth of the matter.
It's unfortunate too. It's unfortunate too that you didn't, like in my case with my mom, was on drugs, it was like that was frowned upon. So it wasn't a whole lot of people that were trying to help from the church at that time, because it was, crack when it hit the scene, it was new.
Right.
So
Right. Valencia.
Anytime we talk about the church of mental health or something around it, it's such a sticky topic.
Okay.
And I'm going to tread lightly here because everybody seemingly wants to know, where was the church? What did the church do? And I have plenty of answers for that. But if we're talking about if they were involved at that particular time, because stuff had been going on in my life for a while, but my grandmother started taking, because I grew up Muslim, but my grandmother started taking, because she had converted from Islam to Christianity. And she started taking me to church, me and cousins and siblings to church when I was 12. And I gave my life to Christ at that time at a church that I'm still involved in today. And they weren't pastor and first lady at that time, but they were ministers in the church. And they were very influential in my life. They knew some of what was going on, but I wasn't extremely open about everything. When I gave my life to Christ, that was a pivotal moment for me because I was very active in church. They kept me busy. That was like my escape from the reality of what I was dealing with. So in a way that helped me because I was at conventions all the time, or district meetings, or, doing stuff like that. Or I was at their house watching their kids, or, whatever else. So in that sense, they helped me. Now I know my mom, she did visit church a couple of times. And it's only so much you can do with people who just don't want help. And there were scenarios where, there were things offered to my mother, but, she didn't take it, or she, or I had to lie on her behalf regarding the severity of the things that I was going through. And I wasn't really able to be open and honest about what I was dealing with. So, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, and you heard it first on Sunday Throwback. Listen, I really don't know what to say, Lewis. I really don't know what to say. I mean, this is such a powerful moment. I believe someone is being healed. I believe someone is really hearing.
Yes.
I really believe someone is really hearing you all and hearing your situation and everything. Yes. But listen, we got to go. I am so excited to have had you all here, and we're hoping that there is another show that's added. So you all stay tuned. But listen, we'll see you all next week. This is Sunday Throwback. I'm your host, Larry Whitfield. Lewis.
Yes. Hello? Okay.
Yes, sir. We out of here.
Okay.
All right. Take care. We see y'all next week.
Yep.
And we will sing the songs of his fame, forever testify of his grace.
Thank you for tuning in to Sunday Throwbacks with Larry Whitfield on WVTC Detroit. Listen, if you would like to become a partner or a guest on our show, please send us an email at lwhitfieldmusic@yahoo.com. That's lwhitfieldmusic@yahoo.com, or call 313-879-9752. That number again is 313-879-9752. We encourage you that God is always in the place, but what you have to do is get him in your space. When you do, your life will never be the same. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
The views and opinions expressed on the previous broadcast are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WVTC Radio Detroit, its advertisers, or affiliates.
You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.